Eating eggs like this made my eyes brighter and my dementia disappeared. Eggs are in a proportion suitable for human consumption. One egg contains all the essential amino acids except vitamin C. You can think of it as containing almost all nutrients. Eggs make you feel full. It is also an essential ingredient in diet menus because it does not cause weight gain. In addition, it also plays a role in controlling blood sugar levels. It goes especially well with eggs. Nice to meet you. Recently, sarcopenia has been added as a disease name, and it is a disease that causes a decrease in muscle mass. I started to look at muscle wasting as a serious disease when I was in the pharmacy for about 10 years. As I was doing this, I was able to see the process of change in the elderly people. I haven't seen you in months. You've aged so much that you're having trouble moving around. There are cases where people come in. In this case, they fall and are bedridden in the hospital for a month. There have been many cases like this. If you lie in bed without moving, muscle loss occurs quickly, but when you are young, in the case of people who are good at tech, they can still hold out well, but only for a month. Even if you lie down in bed, you lose 50% of your muscle mass. As you age, your vision also deteriorates. It becomes stale and digestion power decreases, so there are many people who cannot eat meat. If you don't eat meat, eggs can be a good alternative. Exercise and activity is very important, and protein intake is also very important. It is important to note that eggs contain all the essential amino acids in proportions suitable for human use. You can see that one egg contains almost all the nutrients except vitamin C. First of all, it is possible to provide protein from the sun. First of all, it is possible to evaluate protein. There are two things to consider here, PDCAAS and DIAS. The thing that satisfies me 100% is eggs and milk. But milk is full of. There are many people who can't digest eggs, but eggs are easy to digest depending on the dish. You can use it well because you can make it. Eggs are good for dieting because they are easy to cook and don't make you fat. It is an essential ingredient in the diet and also plays a role in controlling blood sugar levels. However, it is not good for blood sugar levels to rise and fall rapidly. However, eating eggs 30 minutes before a meal is not good. If you eat first and then eat, the eggs will help digest the food slowly. It helps prevent blood sugar levels from rising rapidly as it is absorbed. During the coronavirus pandemic, the nutrient that I consider very important is selenium. When a virus like coronavirus enters the body during a shortage, mutations are likely to occur. In addition, iron and zinc eggs contain all the nutrients necessary for immunity, such as vitamin B and vitamin A. It contains all the nutrients. If you eat eggs regularly, you can get these immune nutrients. Egg yolk contains lutein. Lutein is very famous. There is no one who does not know that it is an eye nutrient ingredient inside our eyes. There is a tissue called the macula, where the optic nerves are gathered. This macula is a representative tissue. The component is lutein, so the macular edema can cause blindness. It can prevent degeneration and is also receiving attention for zeaxanthin in the macular edema. Lutein is not present, but zeaxanthin is also a component of the macula. But these eggs contain lutein and zeaxanthin, which are omega-3 fats. It contains a lot of fatty acids. If you look at the eye nutrients that are selling well, there are 3 of them: lutein, zeaxanthin, and omega-3. There are many things in it, but this egg contains all 3 of them. There is also a lot of vitamin A, which was previously synonymous with eye nutrients, lutein. These eggs can be a very good source for your eyes because they contain eggs also have a very good preventive effect on dementia, as the brain needs moisture. Excluding omega-3 cholesterol, about 65% is made up of fat. Also, phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, and plasmalogens are components of the brain. It also means to fill, but among the vitamin B group contained in eggs, vitamin these three musketeers of B12, vitamin B6 and folic acid help to reduce the abnormality of homocysteine. It suppresses the rise of homocysteine, so it makes blood vessels healthy. Higher numbers increase the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease and blood vessels. It is easy to damage, and all the good nutrients for the eyes and brain are in the yolk of the egg. It's in there, so you have to eat the yolk. But the yolk is there are some people who find it difficult to eat wings because they are too thick. It takes 2 hours to digest wings. It takes 30 minutes for a soft-boiled egg, 1 hour and 30 minutes for a hard-boiled egg, and 3 hours for a soft-boiled egg. It takes about 30 minutes and it takes a long time, but the tissue hardens and the absorption rate is very high. It falls off, but it is not a perfectly soft-boiled egg with a runny yolk. I'm afraid that the salmonella bacteria won't be completely sterilized, so I named it so that it is not overcooked but the yolk is not runny. Serve 1 or 2 perfectly boiled eggs and a vegetable salad on the side. You can top it with about 5 almonds and enjoy it as a hearty breakfast. Eggs. I have a recipe that I recommend when eating. The first one is a salad with boiled eggs and broccoli. When making a vegetable salad, I especially want to tell you to include broccoli. Broccoli contains sulforaphane. This is about 20 times more sulforaphane in broccoli sprouts than in full-grown broccoli. Sulforaphane is a powerful antioxidants are effective in preventing cancer, dementia, and metabolic syndrome in California, USA. According to a joint study by Seoul National University and Konkuk University, sulforaphane is effective in treating Alzheimer's disease. It reduces beta amyloid and tau proteins, which cause dementia, thereby preventing memory damage. Eggs have proven that lecithin can improve the brain. Broccoli helps remove dementia-causing substances and also has a powerful antioxidant effect. It's a very good combination. Secondly, I recommend steamed onion eggs. Onions are. It is well known that onions are good for blood vessels. Onions contain a lot of quercetin, which is at the core. There are more inside the skin than inside the onion. When using onions, it is best to choose ones that are free of mold. It is very important to peel this onion. If you look at it, you will see black mold growing on it. There are many cases where the mold is found and only that person removes it. There are many people who think that they can eat it, but there are dead bodies in the mold. If there's mold in one place, it will spread its roots to other places, so it is best to just throw it away. Good, and mold toxins are not destroyed by heating. So even if you go, it is better to throw it away, so I cut up some fresh onions and add them to the steamed eggs. You can put it in. It is also good for managing blood pressure and diabetes. Onions are good for blood vessels. It is excellent for vascular health to the point that it is called a cleaner. It prevents vascular dementia. If you want to do this, it would be good to use the combination well. Eggs have all the nutrients but are lacking in vitamin C. I did it, but it's really good if you add vegetables that supplement vitamin C, especially vegetables that go well together are broccoli, carrots, pumpkin, chives, onions, and asparagus. Vegetables contain phytochemicals, so they are physiologically active substances in plants. Beta-carotene, sulforaphane, lignin, polyphenol, etc. are included here. dementia. These components can occur when there is oxidative damage due to stress. It has antioxidant properties and can prevent dementia. In addition, the fat in eggs, the ingredients beta-carotene and quercetin, work well together because they help improve absorption. Good. There are several nutrients that help with muscle growth when eaten with eggs. Among them, I will choose glutathione first. Glutathione is cysteine. It is made up of 3 amino acids, glutamic acid and glycine. When you eat protein foods, they are digested and turned into amino acids. Glutathione is essential for resynthesizing this into protein in the body. Glutathione in the body decreases by 15% every year after the age of 40, so it decreases in old age. It becomes very small, so it is good to supplement this with a nutritional supplement. This ingredient is also number 1 in detoxification. If the liver is not detoxifying well and becomes tired, the liver will soon lose muscle. Since I said I would do it, my muscles are bound to get weaker. But I can't help you with this part. It will make your liver healthy and also have a very good effect on muscle building. There are also glutathione, which is one of the antioxidant action systems. It is said that it has good antioxidant effects, which means it is also good for preventing oxidation. The second most important nutrient for good health is vitamin D. This vitamin D, in addition to its basic function of helping bone health by helping calcium absorption, it also helps produce muscle. Vitamin D deficiency has a very significant impact on sexual function. Parathyroid hormone is secreted, which simultaneously removes calcium from the bones. It is said that muscle protein is dissolved and catabolism occurs. But vitamin D, when sufficient supplementation is achieved, anabolic processes that rebuild muscle proteins occur. It is necessary for regenerating and repairing damaged muscles, and muscles also produce energy. It is necessary, so I strongly recommend it to those who are taking vitamin D for health, but also for muscle health in old age. I also recommend it to those who are concerned about the compatibility of eggs, and there are foods that people eat eggs and drink green tea to cleanse their palate. There are many, but this green tea contains tannin. Tannin contains iron. It interferes with absorption. Eggs contain a lot of iron, but we need to take iron. When taking supplements, drink tea with a lot of tannins, such as green tea, for 2 hours. It is recommended to avoid it to some extent. The same goes for eggs. It is recommended to avoid it for about 2 hours before drinking it. Another thing is eating eggs and undercooked beans together helps digest protein. There are trypsin inhibitors that interfere with trypsin. If you look at it, there are common sayings that say you shouldn't eat eggs and soy milk together. There are many, but in reality, soy milk does not cause any major problems for industrial use. In the case of soy milk that is produced, it is sufficiently heated and separated before use. Because of this, a lot of removal is done, but when you eat a lot of this, both because it contains a lot of protein, it is not removed in a state of protein excess. Trypsin inhibitors can cause problems, but homemade soy milk can cause problems for its own sake. These days, there are soy milk makers. There are products that make soy milk by simply putting soybeans in it. Soak the beans in water before boiling, then drain the water and boil them again. If you skip the process of calling it and just use it, there will be toxins. There are many cases where it is impossible to remove it completely, and when you boil it at home, you have to boil it thoroughly, but at this level I thought it was like that, but if you cook it to that extent, it can become an undercooked soybean. Gas is produced because trypsin inhibitors do not completely disappear from undercooked beans. It can cause bloating, abdominal pain and diarrhea, also known as leaky gut. Indigestible proteins enter the body through the loose barrier and cause autoimmune diseases. It is also possible to cause disease, and sometimes it is eaten with eggs. If you eat it, you will get lung stones and food poisoning, so force yourself to vomit. There are people saying that it has to be done, but why are you making such a fuss? It's not that much. There's a lot of tannin in the persimmon. This tannin binds to protein in the stomach. They can combine and become entangled with each other, which can cause abdominal pain. Yes, it is, but this is only when you eat a lot of the feeling. It's a problem that I ate dumplings after eating a meal with egg side dish. It doesn't work, so don't worry too much. To get to the point, it's called wings. It's not good. Among the movies I saw as a child, there's one scene from Rocky that I still remember. It comes to mind that Silver Star tarragon can be peeled into about 5 wings. It was a scene where they did it in one shot, so after this scene came out, men started doing it like that to build muscle. You ate a lot of raw eggs. There is a backstory to this too. Silver Star, before Ron became successful, he was very poor and had no things like a refrigerator or a gas stove. Since there is nothing, I put the eggs outside the window and didn't heat them. They say that they just recreated what they ate in Loki, but this is not healthy. I later recalled that I found out that it wasn't good for the white part of the wing. It contains a substance called avidin, which is rich in biotin in the yolk. Biotin deficiency prevents absorption of biotin, which causes brittle nails and hair loss. So, eat raw eggs. If you eat a lot of it, you may experience hair loss. However, if you heat it, the avidin becomes inactivated, so it's okay. Raw food is slippery and has very poor absorption. In addition, salmonella, if bacteria contaminate the surface, it can cause food poisoning, so cook it. Please eat it when you cook it, and also boil it with boiled eggs, etc. I recommend using it. It's easy to use, so I often fry it. When doing so, you should choose the oil you use from the surroundings. Soybean oil or canola oil are not good because they are easily oxidized. No, and in the case of sesame oil or canola oil, the smoke point is much better. So, if you raise this to a high temperature, it is easy for wind material to be generated, so heat it and take it off the fire. It's okay to sprinkle it right before eating, and the olive oil is of the highest quality. Extra virgin olive oil has a higher smoke point, at around 210 degrees. But it's just the regular extra virgin oil sold in supermarkets. In the same case, it is a bit low at around 160 degrees, so these are dressings. It is widely used as a dragon, but even though the smoke point is low, it has high oxidation safety. It's better than canola. I just heated the frying pan without anything on it, and then once it is heated to a certain degree, crack an egg and put it in, using a very small amount of oil. If you have a well-coated or well-seasoned frying pan, it will not stick even without oil. So, right before taking it out, press down on the olive oil and then immediately take it off the fire. The frying temperature is said to be the most delicious at around 180 degrees, so if you cook it that way, it will be high. There is no need to worry about the temperature rising. Eggs are susceptible to salmonella contamination. Salmonella contamination discernment can reproduce by burying eggs in the shell, so when choosing, it is better to avoid eggs that have chicken feces on them and normal ones. It is quite common for salmonella bacteria to penetrate the eggshell and contaminate the inside. It is rare, so it is better to throw away cracked or broken eggs without feeling sorry about them. And the washing eggs: when you wash eggs, the cuticle layer is removed, which can lead to salmonella. It is easy for bacteria to penetrate, so it is recommended to eat fresh fish quickly. Also, peeled hands are susceptible to salmonella. It is easy for fungal contamination to cause secondary contamination, so you have to wash it right away. And if you look at it before, there is a hole. I've seen quite a few people eat eggs raw, with their eggs pierced through. This is a dangerous move. If you do it wrong, you will end up in the salmon lagoon. Because salmonella can be inhaled, it can be heated to 70 degrees for about 3 minutes. Please eat it cooked like that. The yolk varies depending on the size, but it should be 185. The earth contains about 200 milligrams of cholesterol. In the past, only the recommended amount of cholesterol for the human body is 300 milligrams, so eating just 1 or 2 we have already exceeded the daily requirement, so we recommend it to patients with hyperlipidemia. Even in hospitals, they instructed us to avoid eggs because the yolk is hard and raises cholesterol. There have been a lot of ridiculous things that have happened in the past where the yolk was thrown away. But several studies have shown that the amount of cholesterol that comes from dietary cholesterol is approximately. I found out that about 20% of it is synthesized in the liver, and the remaining 80% is synthesized in the liver. So, the cholesterol restriction actually has no meaning. Rather, it is more like eating eggs. The lecithin contained in the yolk breaks down the fat in the organs through urination. It's good because it melts and increases HDL cholesterol. It plays a positive role, not by making you unable to eat innocent eggs, but by making you really there is a separate culprit that raises cholesterol. About 80% of it is synthesized in the liver. I told you that it was possible, but what is the material used in this synthesis process? Glucose and trans fat. Saturated fat is included here as well as trans fat. So it is a refined carbohydrate. Foods like bread, cookies, and drinks are actually the main culprits in raising cholesterol. You can. However, if you cut the raw onion and do not leave it alone, but fry it right away over a fire, due to alliinase, there is no chance for allicin to be produced. Therefore, everything. Since it is destroyed, this effect cannot be fully utilized. And in the case of raw onions, FODMAP, because it is food, it is a food for people with irritable bowel syndrome who often have gas in their stomach. People with the same stomach problem should avoid raw onions and eat them cooked. When cooked, they become spicy. It can be used well because it disappears and creates sweetness. So, is this raw onion good? In the case of raw onions, it would be most advantageous in terms of allicin, but allicin there are also conditions where it is more advantageous to cook other ingredients, except in this case, such as the Kjaer setting. When fried in oil, the water content of saponin in onions is easily increased. Therefore, if you use it in soup dishes, you can consume it whole. For busy modern people, I think it is a delicious food that is good for blood vessels. Limit onion vinegar. Onions contain quercetin, which is good for blood vessel health. To maximize its function, take it together with other antioxidants for a synergistic effect, especially resveratrol. The combination is a good match, especially when combined with resveratrol. There are many research results showing that the absorption rate is increased with resveratrol. It's easy to think of red wine, but a bottle of red wine contains 10 milligrams. It contains about 300 milligrams of resveratrol, and various studies have shown that it contains about 300 milligrams of resveratrol. Since the research results say that red wine is a fever killer, I use onion vinegar in the form of the vinegar used at this time is Aronia fermented vinegar or mulberry vinegar. It is good to use vinegar. This one contains 156 times more sugar than grapes. Contains resveratrol. Aronia is known to have the highest amount of anthocyanins on Earth. The method of making it is also complicated, so please refer to the detailed upload on my YouTube channel. When taking vinegar, take 0.5 to 0.8 milliliters per kg of body weight, for a 70 kilograms adult. Take the amount of 1 shot of soju as your daily dose and drink it all at once. It is not eaten, but divided into 1, 2, or 3 times a day. And you should never drink this in one gulp. You must dilute it in water. The concentration to dilute in water is about the size of a mug of water. For those who want to drink it, about 15 milliliters, and for those who want to drink it strongly, about 30 milliliters. You can dilute it in the ratio, and if you have heartburn, you can take it after a meal. But be careful here too. There is a matter if you are taking antithrombotic drugs such as anticoagulants or antiplatelet drugs. I recommend that you avoid it because it can increase the risk of bleeding. The most important dietary habit I want to emphasize is avoiding sugar toxins. This sugar toxin is the ultimate. It is to limit it. The vinegar used at this time is Aronia fermented vinegar or mulberry vinegar. It is very sticky, so the blood is like this. If it is sticky, can it flow well through narrow blood vessels? Especially if it is affected. Long-term kidney transplant is possible for people who have had diabetes for 20 years. In many cases, this toxin causes chronic kidney disease as a complication. This can cause the antioxidant system to not work well when there are a lot of these toxins. It prevents the body from aging and destroys tissues. Then, how do sugar toxins form? You may be wondering. Sugar toxins are produced in our bodies and are also ingested through food. Even the ingredients can have a huge impact on the health depending on how they are cooked. If you do this, it will be created as a wet boiler. Heating method among them, direct fire cooking produces the most, followed by fried cooking, and then boiled cooking. The method is less likely to produce 549, at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York. Foods have been tested for toxins, and the number 1 food is grilled chicken legs. Second place is baked bacon. Third place is grilled sausage. Fourth place is pan-fried chicken legs. Fifth place is the lower part of the roasted chicken leg. The skin is golden brown when grilled. The taste becomes more delicious as you cook it. At this stage, the taste also changes. It gets better but increases sugar toxins. Choose a cooking method that involves grilling over direct heat. Look, or it would be good to make it into a national flag or stew and eat it, but if when eating the part, in an acidic environment like lemon juice, sugar toxins are created. It is a bit of a nuisance, so it would be good to try adding lemon juice and vinegar to it. There are so many things that are important, such as good food, nutrition, exercise, and sleep. I'm a little worried because I'm asked to pick just one, but here's the one I picked. The eggplant is a way to lean into the sound within oneself. Everyone has something inside them. There is a hidden self. In addition to the philosophical question of who am I, what do I really want? What else do I want, other than relationships with others and a life that is controlled by others? Not the kind of person who is controlled by others and lives to show off to others. Have you ever really thought about yourself? Why are you so interested in others but not in yourself? Do you not even care? I ask myself, am I happy? If you are not happy, what is the reason? If you are happy, what is the reason? I am struggling for success and exchanging my time for money and life. Sometimes I constantly ask myself things like, is this really the path I want to take? To do that, I have to look back at myself. Is there a malfunction signal somewhere in my body? I have to listen to that sound when I'm sending it and my heart feels empty, stuffy, and I can't see ahead. When it seems like that, I have to listen to my heart and find the answer within myself. Find out I am a health consultant and work in health-related fields, but the root of the mind is I think the most important thing is to live a long life with a healthy body and a happy mind. Living can be a blessing. The one best food for diabetes when eaten before meals. If we look at how diabetes occurs in our body, it starts with blood vessel blockage. It is a disease that ends with blockage. At this time, we eat a lot of organic acid-rich and citric acid-rich citric acid. If you give it, the blocked blood vessels will really open up a lot. It's not just the calculations, but also our blood vessels. Vitamin C, an antioxidant vitamin that can kill and block active oxygen. It's also very rich in vitamin 2, but be careful. According to recent statistics, 1 in 3 people are on a diabetes diet. Poor blood circulation. When vitamins, minerals, and enzymes are lacking, the blood becomes unclean. This poor blood circulation, the first organ to be affected by toxins is our intestines. Foreign substances in stools accumulate and harmful bacteria increase. This is when it is most. The next organ to be attacked is the liver. When we eat food, the food mixes with stomach acid and is digested. After that, it goes down to the small intestine. When it goes down to the small intestine, it goes down in a completely sugar-splitting state, that is, glucose. When it goes down to the state, the glucose is absorbed into the liver. At this time, the liver distributes the glucose appropriately. It does the work of storing, and when it does this, the liver receives help from a hormone called insulin, which creates body fat. The body produces insulin well and the liver distributes energy appropriately. If we work hard to save, our body can live without any problems. However, it goes to the liver. If your blood circulation is not good and you are constantly suffering from toxins coming from your intestines, things will not go well. It doesn't happen again because the liver is not doing a good job of storing it in the muscles as energy. The sugars that should be in the muscles flow out into the blood. When this happens, the sugar in the blood rises. We sense this within ourselves and give orders to our body to produce insulin. So it starts to produce a lot of insulin. But even though it produces a lot of insulin, the liver cells are already, because you are sick, you cannot use insulin properly. This is the early stage of diabetes. You may not even know you have diabetes. According to statistics, about 84% of people are in the early stages of diabetes. I am living with early stage diabetes. There are various symptoms that can appear in the early stage of diabetes. Chronic fatigue, which we often experience, is also one of the early symptoms of diabetes. Also, when we eat, there are times when we suddenly become very tired. After eating, we become increasingly sleepy and even more tired. There are times when strength is lost, and this is also a phenomenon that can occur during the initial stage of force. Also, limbs may become paralyzed. I started to feel like my digestion was not working well and my overall motor skills were getting worse. You may find that you are losing weight for no reason and experiencing energy deficiency. These are common symptoms of early diabetes. This is how to prevent diabetes, or the food I would recommend to diabetics is Detox House. Detox House is something that detoxifies our blood. It lowers blood sugar, but it also lowers our blood circulation. It resolves mucus, foreign substances, and active oxygen. The ingredient of the detoxifier is beet. Beets contain powerful chlorine, which has the effect of purifying our blood. It is excellent and also rich in iron, so it is good for healthy blood. It also helps a lot in making, and another ingredient is carrots. These carrots contain a very powerful substance called beta-carotene. It has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, so it can cleanse the toxins in our blood faster than anything else. The next ingredient is cucumber. This cucumber has a very urinary effect in our body. It makes it smooth, so now the toxins are cleaned out by our carrots and beets, and the toxins are quoted to the kidneys. The cucumber plays the role very well. And the last ingredient is stone minate. Stone parsley has a very special detoxifying effect, so it is in our blood. It has an excellent ability to slow down various toxins and blood sugar levels. So, this is 160 g of pickled vegetables. There are 40 g of beets, 100 g of ointment, and 60 g of stone parsley in this ratio. You have to take the raw house out. When you take this house out, we take down the recorder house. It's a Varigon filter net. Buy it so it completely removes the fiber and has this purifying effect in the water. You should only take vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and special anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antitoxic substances. In the early stages of diabetes, it starts with a decline in liver function, so we need to reduce the burden as much as possible. That's why we need to eat on an empty stomach so that it can be absorbed. It's good and the utilization rate is high. Many people think like this. There needs to be fiber. It's good to have sugar in vegetables or fruits. It is said that it will reduce the absorption of sugar in our vegetables and fruits, but it is not. The sugar we eat temporarily raises our blood sugar levels when we are diabetic. But that sugar is different from the processed carbohydrates we know. It's totally different. I've never had a single medical report that said I got sick from eating a lot of fruits because I ate a lot of vegetables. That's why it's not happening. Take enough living vitamins, minerals, and enzymes to solve it. That is the best way, and one of the best methods is the detox that I am introducing to you today. At first, diabetics will experience a slight increase in blood sugar levels when they eat this, but from there don't stop and keep taking it. As the cause of diabetes, poor blood circulation, is resolved, your blood sugar level will return to normal. If you continue to drink this detox juice, your blood will start to go down. The overall purification begins and the condition of our body begins to recover first. First, fatigue is relieved. And our skin gets better and our eyes start to clear up. And there are many people who have numb hands and feet, but their hands and feet are numb. It comes from poor blood circulation, and it also solves numbness in hands and feet. I got diarrhea after drinking this raw juice, and I got diarrhea. People who say that their period has increased means that they have a lot of harmful bacteria. So they should concentrate slowly. Start with 1 glass, even if you increase it, and drink another detox juice an hour before lunch, and then it's okay. If you don't have diarrhea or gas, then drink 1 more glass before dinner and drink 3 glasses a day. You will experience amazing changes in your body. If you eat this before meals, it will really help with diabetes. There are some good foods, and that is fresh fruits, especially lemons and grapefruits. These fresh fruits included has a lot of organic acids. These organic acids are excellent for clearing clogged blood vessels. What blocks blood vessels is oxidized minerals. These are inorganic minerals that we get when we eat boiled vegetables. Or, it happens when we eat wild vegetables, and at that time, we have a lot of organic acids. And if you eat a lot of citric acid-rich citric acid, clogged blood vessels will really open up. But this lemon or sour fruits like oranges and grapefruits do not contain a lot of citric acid, but they kill oxygen radicals that destroy and block our blood vessels. Lemon is very rich in antioxidant vitamins, namely vitamin C and vitamin E, so we eat lemon before meals. It's a lemon house that's better than water. If you eat this, it's very good. This lemon juice is good to take on an empty stomach in the morning. However, one thing to keep in mind is that if I have a risk or hierarchy, I will feel sick if I take it in the morning. For those who have a sense of danger or hierarchy, it is very good to eat only orange juice and then add lemon juice for lunch. Take it on an empty stomach or before dinner. Then, even those who are at risk will not have any problems. Yes, you can eat it without any difficulty. The food that is good to eat after a meal is carrots. I highly recommend the seed house. This carrot seed house is loaded with incredible minerals and it contains enzymes and vitamins. Among them, carrot seeds are richest in living calcium. The most important mineral is calcium, which is alive. This seed is from the times of the world. It has such a huge impact that it was selected as one of the top 10 foods, and it contains carrots and seeds. If you have a drink right after breakfast and a drink right after lunch, your health will recover quickly. If you have diabetes, you must stop eating ramen and gradually reduce the amount of food you eat. There are boiled vegetables and greens. These boiled vegetables and greens are the most effective in preventing diabetes. Boiling vegetables can cause vitamin, mineral, and enzyme deficiencies. People with diabetes should not eat boiled vegetables or wild greens. They should gradually reduce their intake or stop eating them altogether. Just quit boldly and eat a lot of raw vegetables and shots. One of the most important lifestyle habits for preventing diabetes is getting enough sunlight. It is true that many modern people do not understand the benefits of sunlight. There's a lot of fear of the sun these days, but Pittsburgh research from universities shows that the more we expose ourselves to the sun, the more the powerful infrared rays in the sun help to heal inflammation in our bodies. And if you look at another paper, there is also a paper that says that it dissolves the blood stasis in our body. The reason is because of the vitamin D source improvement in the sunlight. The best way to get sunlight is to get at least 2 hours of sunlight, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon. Avoid extreme times and take the time to do it for 2 hours a day. Your health will be greatly improved. You can feel it getting better effectively. Now, let's get some sun. Ladies, you should worry about it now. Should I apply cream? I don't want to get a sunburn on my face, but you can apply sun cream. Wear a hat and sunglasses. You can wear a mask, but your arms and legs should be exposed. The sun cannot penetrate the clothes, so your skin has to be directly exposed, so you have to have the habit of being exposed to sunlight. You can see the effect by playing for 2 hours a day. If you eat just this, dead kidneys will come back to life and all the foam in your urine will disappear. The most important thing for patients with kidney disease and kidney disease patients is their eating habits. The cause of kidney disease is you need to eat a diet that can help your kidneys function well by improving blood circulation and reviving your kidneys. You can recover. So, the food I would like to recommend to you today is the body has 2 detoxification periods. The liver and the kidneys detoxify. The kidneys detoxify and excrete waste through urine, and many people are concerned about the health of their kidneys. If you look closely at the kidney, there is something called an in. The glomeruli and ureters, which play a filtering role, are combined, so the waste that is filtered out by the glomeruli is filtered out by the ureters. The ureter is responsible for excreting and reabsorbing the waste if any necessary effects occur. There are 1 million of them. So that means there are 2 million sewer systems in our body. Don't worry about it. If we do not do this and leave it alone, we will end up accumulating toxins without knowing it. The bubbles in urine are the result of our kidneys trying to expel toxins that have accumulated in our body. It plays a role, but it can happen when the kidney function is somewhat reduced. I have a situation where I have bubble yoga. Think about it carefully. Usually, when I am very stressed or very tired, my body does not feel good. When you eat a lot of food, you usually get foamy diarrhea. In addition, there are symptoms that occur when kidney function declines. However, if the kidney function declines, toxins will accumulate in our body. The function will gradually be completely lost. When toxins accumulate in the body, it is called uremia. When toxins accumulate in the body, it is a phenomenon that occurs when we start to feel itchy, we start to feel tired, our heads start to feel puffy, and we start to get frequent headaches. My body swells up easily. If my kidneys get worse, I will have to go to dialysis. This is the level of kidney disease. It occurs when the blood vessels are severely blocked, and if dialysis is performed, the quality of life also decreases significantly, but the mortality rate is high. If you can avoid dialysis, you should definitely avoid it. Or, even if you get a transplant, there are cases where kidney function does not recover. And even if kidney function is restored to some extent, you still need to take immunosuppressants and your immune system will be weakened. It is best to fight various infections and complications caused by prevention is the most important for patients with kidney disease and kidney disease patients. The important thing is your eating habits. You can solve the cause of your kidney problems. And kidney disease can be cured by regenerating the kidney cells and creating an environment where the cells can survive. We need to create and provide nutrients for the cells to regenerate, so our eating habits are important for the kidneys. It is really important to the patients more than anything else. This kidney is a lump of blood. If the blood clot is not returned to the clot will die. If we look at the main causes of blocking my blood vessels, lime is the most important element, the second is mucus, and the third is foreign matter. It is the element that makes lime in our body. The eating habits are eating habits that consume oxidized minerals. That is wild vegetables. Those who are pure eat wild vegetables. The second eating habit that causes mucus is spicy and salty foods. When we eat, our body produces mucus. Foreign substances are produced in processed foods. When we eat, we come in. Snacks, instant food, enzyme powder that we eat because it is good for our body, and other things that are processed. It is food, so as I mentioned earlier, it contains wild vegetables, salty food, instant food, and enzymes that are good for the body. People with soybean reflux should not take nutritional supplements or health functional foods. You should be especially careful with vitamins and minerals that come from nutritional supplements. Yes, because it hits all the blood vessels leading to the kidneys. If you look at the scientific research that is coming out these days, vitamin D is in soft tissue. It is reported that everything is covered with lime between organs, blood vessels, and people. It is said that the kidneys are affected by limestone, and this lump of blood is bound to cause enormous damage, and patients with kidney stones are even more affected. In addition to this, other health functional foods such as enzymes or vegetable powders will be damaged. These are ultra-processed foods. Look at the ingredients in them. There are a few things you don't know the names of. It's not eggplant. It's not much different from processed ingredients that go into cookies or other instant foods. Therefore, enzymes in various health functional foods do more harm than good to patients with kidney disease. If you look closely at kidney patients, they should not eat vegetables because vegetables contain a lot of potassium. Because when you go to the hospital, our doctors also tell you that you must boil vegetables because they are high in potassium. I will explain it to you, but if you only look at the symptoms, that is correct. That is how it should be. The potassium level does not go up, but the kidneys get worse and worse, so eventually there is nothing you can do. You have no choice but to go to the dialysis stage. You have to eat a diet that will help your kidney function by improving blood circulation. It can restore kidney function, so it is an essential ingredient to keep my blood circulation smooth. Live vitamins, minerals and enzymes. Start eating live vegetables and take live supplements. You should, but you should not take it in large quantities when your kidney function is low. So, at first, start with a small plate of vegetables and a small amount of fruit. Then, be sure to get a consultation to determine your kidney size. You must eat it according to the state of your function. Then, you will start to come back to life. I recommend it to you today. The food I want to give you is a new fruit. It is rich in organic acids and good for blood vessels. Lemon is the first thing that helps kidney patients to clear blockages faster than anything else. Let's start with the water. Slice the lemon and soak it in lemon water. It doesn't really work, but it's better than not eating it. But if you really want to see the effect, you need to bring lemons home. You should walk all the fibers through the walking net once more in a ratio of 5:1 or 4:1 with lukewarm lemon water. You have to drink it. Lemon is 1 and water is 4 or 5. So if I squeeze 50 cubic centimeters of lemon, I have to drink 200 of water. Add 250 cubic centimeters of unknown water and drink once on an empty stomach 30 minutes before a meal. Try it, but people at risk should not eat it in the morning. Eat it for lunch and dinner like this and start. If you look at it, you will feel that it is getting better and better. The diet is growing. The benefit is that it helps improve blood circulation, which in turn helps to improve the blood supply to the cells of the kidneys. The function of the kidney cells will inevitably increase and the kidneys will begin to recover. However, please be careful. People with kidney problems must consult with a specialist. Without help, this is not only difficult, but you may end up doing more than you need to. You should definitely get help from a professional because you may like it. Apples are a good fruit for patients with chronic kidney disease. The organic acids in apples, citric acid, malic acid, and tartaric acid not only help our blood circulate smoothly, but also have powerful anti-inflammatory properties. It contains a lot of vitamin C, an antioxidant vitamin, and vitamin 2. It is recommended to take it in the evening. Many people take it in the evening. I know that eating apples is actually harmful, but there is no evidence for that, and these days, looking at the various data that come out, it seems that grilling one dinner is a huge deal for us. There's a lot of data that says it helps blood circulation and recovery in the human body, but if you suddenly starve after eating dinner, it's hard, so today I'm going to introduce you to how to deal with dinner with apples. You don't have to bake when you eat it. You can use soda or vinegar, but you don't have to wash it. Just soak the apples for 2 to 3 minutes and then put them in running water. Wash it thoroughly for about a minute. Then, the pesticide will be sufficiently removed. Do not peel it in that condition. Take a drink and cut the apple into small pieces with the peel on. Then put it in your mouth and chew it. Chewing it is very good. So instead of dinner, try eating only apples. Then, your kidneys will be. Patients say that the organic acids in it help cleanse the blood vessels and improve blood circulation. Antioxidants, anti-inflammatory drugs to clear up accumulated toxins and clear up the blood, and you will feel it. When your blood becomes clearer, what you will feel the most is that your urine becomes clearer. My condition is starting to recover. Kidney patients are eating fruit peels. Some people are confused about whether to eat it or not, but there are many antioxidants in the peel of the fruit. There are fruits that are good to eat, but they contain anti-inflammatory properties. There are some fruit peels that you should not eat, such as lemon peel, orange peel, and grapefruit peel. Thick ones, especially the skins on these new fruits, protect the good flesh inside from fungi and insects. Animals that eat a lot of the shell contain trace amounts of toxins to protect them. There are also research reports that it causes loss of reproductive function. So, do not eat that kind of peel. Instead, eat apple peel. It is good to eat thin skins like this together. This is a recommended diet for patients with chronic kidney disease. The news is that the liver, which detoxifies along with the kidneys, is clearly sick because the kidneys are in bad shape. Digestion is really hard in this state, but if you start overeating at this time, it will put a strain on your liver and your body. Detoxification is decreasing, the body is getting tired, and the swelling is getting worse. The way to tell the news is that I am full. You shouldn't drink until you feel like you're 70% or 80% full. Stop. It is important to share the news, but it is even more important to chew it thoroughly. It is important that we chew our food thoroughly, which increases the time it takes to eat. I used to chew my food well so that the nutrients could be absorbed sufficiently. Even if you eat about 80% of the amount you were eating, you will still be able to absorb enough nutrients and feel adequately full. I can feel it. Serious patients should chew slowly and take time to eat. And eat an apple for dinner. It is very good to deal with it with food. Patients learn to drink water. It is important to know exactly what the kidneys do, which is to remove toxins from our blood. Being sticky means that there are a lot of toxins and foreign substances in the blood, so the blood becomes sticky and more concentrated. It would be easier to think of it like this: the color is yellow. So, I urinated and the color of my urine was a song. Then it means that your blood is not good. Then you should drink water. How much water should you drink? You can drink it until your urine becomes clear. You see the data these days? It's a study from the US that says 8 glasses a day for men. 3.6 L women say to drink 8 L, but this 3.6 L, 2.8 L, I'm talking about considering the moisture in food. When you eat food, you consume about 2 L of moisture per day. It is better to drink it. Kidney patients, if you drink too much water, your body's ability to excrete water will be reduced. Because of the decline, kidney disease patients are advised to drink more than 4 L of water per day. You should not drink it. The appropriate amount is 2 L, 2.5 L, 5 L of water. It is best for kidney disease patients to be careful when dieting because excessive dieting can be toxic. Yes, because the human body needs a lot of energy. Even breathing is a being that needs energy. If you don't provide energy, your body will start burning protein to create energy. Because they are burning in this state, incomplete metabolism begins to occur, and the cells produce toxic substances. It should be excreted through our kidneys, but patients with kidney disease have a reduced ability to excrete these toxic substances. In that case, acid or lactic acid will gradually accumulate in our body. So, among kidney patients, uric acid levels are high. There are many tall people, but if you go on a strict diet and accumulate more uric acid, you will get uremia. People with severe diabetes are much more likely to develop kidney disease. It's very high. When we see patients with diabetes at the hospital, most of them are diabetic or hypertensive. Diabetes is caused by blockage of blood vessels. It is a disease that starts with a blockage and ends with a blockage. If the cause of diabetes is not resolved, it can lead to chronic kidney disease, a complication. The chances of getting it are really high. There are quite a few people with diabetes who think they don't have any complications right now. There are many, but it doesn't fit. If I have arthritis, if I have ligaments that hurt, then it's a complication of diabetes. It's right to see that I don't have any complications because I don't have stroke or heart disease due to diabetes. Don't be reassured. If you have diabetes and do not resolve the cause and only manage your blood sugar, complications will occur. Medically, there are many things to consider. If I have diabetes, then the chances of getting kidney disease are very high. You should think about it and definitely take preventive measures. Kidney patients should be especially careful when drinking coffee. What I recommend is to stop drinking coffee completely. Several observational studies have shown that drinking 3 cups of coffee a day can help reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. There are studies reporting that it improves my cardiovascular disease, but what you need to know exactly is this observation. It's a study. It's not a clinical study, it's an observational study. It's just a study that led to a relationship, so it's said that coffee is good for your health. There is a study reservation that is not established because of caffeine. Yes, because it is in there. The coffee stimulates our nerves, and it is bound to make our autonomic nervous system worse. There is a mechanism that works through my nerves. I keep adding caffeine to this mechanism. If you stimulate it through that, the kidney function will decline and the water balance in our body will not be maintained well. If you can't do it, the water balance will gradually fall off, and the sticking will only get worse. That's why people with kidney disease or those whose kidneys are starting to get worse should definitely avoid cafes. With just 1 spoonful of this, hyperlipidemia disappears and diabetes drops. The really important part of healing the warranty is to resolve the inflammation. Blood vessels produce mucus in the body to help reduce inflammation. As the mucus continues to build up, our blood vessels become increasingly clogged and inflammation occurs, disrupting the flow of blood. It is a food that solves inflammation in the blood. If you want to recover from hyperlipidemia quickly by alleviating it, you can see a direct effect by taking just 1 spoonful every morning. This is the food you can see, and it is the food with the most omega-3. Hyperlipidemia is becoming more and more prevalent in our country. Now, hyperlipidemia is no longer a disease of the elderly but of the young. I see quite a few of my friends that the diet we eat destroys blood vessels and supplies toxins to the blood. That's why many people think that high blood pressure is a disease caused by eating a lot of bad fat. No data can be found to determine the cause of obesity and hyperlipidemia. The cause is a deficiency of living vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. If you look at his diet, it's almost all boiled food, so he has no choice but to eat this kind of diet. It becomes a dietary habit that will inevitably lead to hyperlipidemia, hypertension, and diabetes. So it's not that I eat a lot of meat, but I eat a lot of raw vegetables, raw herbs, and raw foods in my diet. The reason why we suffer from hyperlipidemia is because we don't eat enough fruit. According to recent research, we suffer from hyperlipidemia because we eat a lot of meat. There's no study that says you get hyperlipidemia. Rather, eat vegetables, toothpaste, and fruit. There are studies coming out that say that if you don't have high cholesterol, you will get high cholesterol. You may have heard it a lot, but it is not true. The first cause of hyperlipidemia is weak intestinal function. It is said that octopuses are suffering from liver disease due to weakened liver function. Nowhere has it been reported that octopuses got it from eating foods high in cholesterol. There is cholesterol, which is originally a fat that the body needs. There are various hormones, and they are also very important components of our brain nerve cells, and in our cells. Fat is essential. That's why we need to eat healthy fat. Our blood is the flow of our life. In our blood, each organ must be free of toxins and have sufficient nutrients and oxygen to function smoothly. It is a healthy state, but hyperlipidemia is already a state where there are a lot of toxins in the blood. Because more fat is produced, toxins have accumulated and now the fat has increased and that fat is stuck on the tongue. It acts as a toxic agent and all organs are damaged. Furthermore, our immune system is gradually weakening, and the toxicity in the blood vessels leading to it increases, which leads to dementia. The chances of getting it go up, and if the blood circulation is low because the blood that goes to the intestines is toxic, you will get diabetes. And if the blood is too toxic, the immune system becomes weak and you can even get cancer. Taking medication for high cholesterol lowers the level of fat in the blood. Putting it down is when we always deal with illness. We have to look into the cause of the illness and fix the cause before we can be cured of the illness. You can talk about lowering the symptoms, that is, lowering the numbers, which is another way to say that you are cured. The concept is that if you take medicine to lower your fat levels, the cause remains the same. The toxins in the blood that cause hyperlipidemia are not discharged and remain in all of our bodies. The functions are getting worse. The blood is going around and around. The blood that goes down goes to my heart. The blood that goes to my heart. The blood goes to the liver, stomach, intestines, and kidneys. So if there is poison in my blood, that poison spreads throughout my body. It is a holistic view that it affects all the organs of the body, and it is this way of maintaining health. It is in line with the principles of health to interpret and get help to lower the numbers with medicine. There are some, but you should not be satisfied with that. You must choose a method that addresses the cause. Eating habits just by fixing it, you can stop taking high cholesterol medication. High cholesterol is a result of a lot of toxins in the blood. In that case, you need to eat nutrients that can resolve the toxins in the blood. Medicine cannot do that. We need to know what the detoxifying influence is, and that is vitamins, minerals and enzymes, the powerful substances in our blood. It is an antioxidant and a powerful antioxidant that can regenerate acidified blood. Vegetables we eat, such as carrots, kale, and dandelions, act as alkaline factors. Spinach contains about 150 different alkaloids. It is very smooth. It can achieve detoxification and anti-acidification, especially in the prevention of high blood pressure, or there is a very excellent food for curing gout. Just eat 1 spoonful every morning and you will see immediate results. There is a food that is alive, that is, raw sesame oil. This raw sesame oil is very rich in omega-3. Omega-3 helps reduce inflammation. It is a food that solves the problem. Many people know that it is unsaturated fat and washes away fat, and that is also its role. Yes, but that's a very small part, and the really important part is to resolve the inflammation. When inflammation occurs, we blood vessels produce mucus in the body to help reduce inflammation in the blood. Omega-3 helps to harmonize circulation and reduces inflammation in the blood, thus preventing the formation of dysentery. If this mucus continues to accumulate, our blood vessels will become more and more blocked and the function of the blood vessels will inevitably decline. The function of blood vessels is restored due to the decrease in mucus production caused by the solution, and not only that, but the immune system, in other words, the fuel that white blood cells in our body need to work, is omega. If we take a close look at the immune system in our body, we can see that there are different stages at which the immune system can work. There are foods that contain the most omega-3, and our body needs it the most. The way to eat it efficiently and without destroying nutrients is raw sesame oil. My kids really like to sprinkle raw sesame oil on rice and eat it, but at my house, we eat raw sesame oil on brown rice. Sprinkle some sesame oil on it and eat it. And now sprinkle some salt on it and eat it. This brown rice has something called me. It has a lot of nutrients. It has fiber, so we should eat it, but our children don't like to eat brown rice, and it's the same for us adults. Many people find it difficult. You can make rice balls with this raw sesame oil to alleviate the roughness even more, and wrap them in the raw sesame oil and eat them like this. It makes for a really tasty meal and is a great way to get your antioxidants and omega-3s, but be careful, when we open the rice is hot. The temperature is quite high. So, we spread some rice and heat it up. You have to blow it and break the raw sesame oil so that the raw sesame oil does not oxidize and retains its good properties. Omega-3, which we can consume, also plays a very important role in the health of our brain nerves. It's built up with fat. Among those fats, omega-3 is really essential. It is an element that my nerves must work smoothly so that we can sleep well, think well, control our moods and emotions, and be autonomous. Your nerves and motor nerves will work well, and if you supply enough omega-3, you will be able to live well. If you supply omega-3, eat it consistently in the form of raw safflower oil. Not only our vascular tourism, but also my neural tourism is also very good. And another thing is, we have various cells. Cells are covered with phospholipids, which protect them from bacteria, viruses, and other foreign substances. It plays a role in protecting oneself, and this omega-3 plays a very important role in this case. Some people worry about whether it is okay to eat sesame oil every day, but sesame oil has a lot of calories, which means it is good energy. It is a bad health practice to think that I am gaining weight because I eat a lot of calories. The principle is that you eat a lot of calories, but you can't burn them and they are stored. You gain weight because you only eat meat, but raw sesame oil has very good calories and can burn those calories in various ways. It is rich in minerals and vitamins. Since metabolism is smoother, fatigue is also resolved. So, don't worry. You can drink it and eat it. There are some precautions to take when eating raw sesame oil. This raw sesame oil is rich in nutrients, so it is good for your health. People with a lot of harmful bacteria may get diarrhea if they eat a lot on an empty stomach at first. We eat food with a lot of potential. If you have diarrhea or a lot of diarrhea when eating, it is because of harmful bacteria. Harmful bacteria are also living organisms. Because if those children eat it for the first time, if there are a lot of harmful bacteria, they may get diarrhea. Instead of stopping there, reduce the amount and then gradually increase it from there. Look, the food that is more effective when eaten with sesame oil is sesame seeds. It is very rich in calcium. Do not eat roasted sesame seeds. Roasted sesame seeds create active oxygen. It is the cause of hyperlipidemia. It starts to expel toxins. You can do it with meals. Start by eating sesame oil and then eating. At that time, during or after a meal, scoop up a spoonful of raw sesame seeds and put them in your mouth. You should chew it and drink it so that it becomes water. It is rich in nutrients that kill inflammation caused by toxins. These are full of calcium, which is contained in sesame oil and raw sesame seeds, which can remove toxins from our blood. Come in and start purifying our blood. In addition to sesame oil, there is a food that is really excellent for treating gout. This is raw seaweed. This seaweed is ginseng of the sea. There are 56 kinds of raw seaweed. Minerals are included, which begin to have a powerful detoxifying effect, strengthening the bones and bone marrow. It even has the function of regulating blood production. This seaweed must be eaten alive, but it contains 56 minerals. You can absorb this life. This life has iron. Eat a lot in winter. A lot. When people tell you to eat raw seaweed, they dip it in gochujang, but I don't recommend gochujang. There may be aflatoxins, and through fermentation, these aflatoxins can proliferate further. So I don't recommend the super high quality ones and don't cook them. Just wash them cleanly and sprinkle some salt on them. Make sesame oil sauce. Dip raw seaweed in it and eat it. This is killing two birds with one stone. When you eat seaweed soup, you get protein. It is supplied, but the minerals inside it are largely destroyed, so it does not play a big role. The worst diet for high blood pressure and vascular health is the food that uses a frying pan. When you start heating food at high temperatures, all the good nutrients in it are destroyed. No, most foods are high in fat, if we were to pick out the ones that are. It changes into lipid peroxide. Lipid peroxide is an active oxygen that enters our body and destroys liver cells and blood cells. It destroys the cells. But at this time, you also use oil, which is in the frying pan. The temperature of the food rises dramatically and the nutrients in all the food when it starts to prosper, it destroys the blood vessels and causes inflammation of the blood vessels, so it is called secondary hemorrhage. If you want to recover quickly, the first thing you should do in the kitchen is to get rid of the frying pan. That's it. If you do, you will see tremendous benefits for your vascular health. If I fry a pan, if you can't quit right away, you can use water instead of oil when cooking all foods. Then later, instead of frying in a frying pan, you just put water in a stainless steel pot and stir-fry it lightly. If you fry it, it will take on a slightly stir-fried form. That would be better than using a frying pan. It's much better than what you're using. Try that method of assembly. The only way to reduce the high-pitched sound is through exercise. When I worked at the hospital, I witnessed many people reduce their medication if they started exercising. I did, but I couldn't stop taking the medication completely. That's why diet and exercise must go together. Exercise among them, or really good exercise, is brisk walking. Many people now walk barefoot, which stimulates our blood flow. Walking barefoot is a good exercise because it improves blood circulation, but there is no better exercise than walking barefoot. Walking is a great exercise, and running is a better exercise than brisk walking. It is very effective in relieving hypertension. I have the data, and I'll tell you how I can do it. Many people are not used to walking fast. Everyone, walk slowly. Walk slowly, and then walk quickly. Your hands should be big like this and your strides should be wide. Try walking until you are out of breath, and then when you feel tired, go back to walking slowly. Next time I'll try it again, then I'll walk fast again and repeat, doing it for 30 minutes a day. Look, I did 30 minutes of exercise in the morning, so I'll do another 30 minutes of cardio in the afternoon. You should exercise every day. Strength training is also very important. The more muscles you have, the better your body will be. Even if you get hit, the conditions for maintaining health are formed, so strength training is done once a week. You should do it at least 3 times. If you have never done it before, start by doing the arm stretch at home. It is really important to increase strength training gradually and not overdo it. If you did, you should do strength training again the next day after recovering sufficiently. Strength training, etc. In this case, push-ups and sit-ups are very important exercises, so we definitely do them when we do strength training. You need to exercise the large muscles, but now, for those who haven't done push-ups for a long time, you should start with the ground. If you do it with the right posture, you will get hurt. First, put your arms against the wall and do a push-up. Then, gradually lower yourself. If you are someone who didn't do it at first, try starting from 5 times. If you do gradual exercise, it will be of great help in improving your health.